Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing another hair tutorial, and yes, I'm using rollers again. Please don't judge me. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to get more blowout curls. It's not a full-on like blowout with your wet hair, but I will say having a blowout in your hair already will definitely help this. Having a blowout already in your hair will definitely encourage the most longevity out of this, and it will help to guarantee for your hair to look as fluffy and voluminous as possible. And I also would recommend not doing this on anything later than like day 3 on like your washing routine. So I washed and blew out my hair yesterday, and today is day 2 hair. My hair was still pretty. To get that light fluffy hair, if you have a lot of oil buildup in your hair, or a lot of product buildup or dry shampoo buildup or something of the sort, anything more in the hair that's weighing it down will not encourage it to be like light and fluffy and all that stuff. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and if you have any other video recommendations, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. And yeah, I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and get on to the tutorial. Alright, so today's tutorial I'm going to be having my halo in, so if you are like some videos, you have long hair, some you have short hair, that's why. This is a 22-inch layered one, but I cut a couple inches off and I made it more of a 20-inch. The first thing that we're going to do is I need to detangle this hair because I literally pretty much threw my halo in and was just ready to rumble. So, and then we're going to prep it first with some heat protectant. You guys see me looking like right here. I have a big mirror standing behind you from the camera so I can see myself a little bit too. But the heat protectant we're going to be using is the same one I actually used in my last video, and it's by IGK. It's their Good Behavior Smoothing Spray. Section out my hair, and since I have my halo in, what I kind of just do is at first I'm going to bring up all of the hair that isn't my halo, and then I'm even going to bring up some that is in my halo. So I'm going to kind of split my weft up into sections. Start with that from there. If you don't have extensions in, a good guide is to kind of go from like your ears and down. Oh, the 2 curling irons I'm going to be using today this one is by Babyliss Pro. They're 1.5 inch, so they're 1.5 inch curling iron. This is the one that I'm going to be using for a lot of my underneath sections, and then for my frontmost sections, this is by Bioionic. This is their 1.25 inch or their 1.25 inch one. You can also use just a 1.25 inch barrel the whole time, or if you do have just a 1 inch as well, you could use that too, just don't hold it for as long. If your rollers that you're going to use are going to be a little bit bigger as well. The easiest way to do it, the bigger the curling iron, the better when you have thicker hair. If you're not sure, the 1.25 will be great all around. If you've got thick long hair, you can use this guy too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split my section into. My extensions are kind of falling out from this kind of curl, so that's why they're already curled a little bit. I'd say it's like 1.5 inches thick of a section with my curling iron. And again, I'm starting off my 1.5 inch, and I'm going to start from top to bottom. So by that I mean that I start with my curling iron up at the top. I'm going to pull my iron down a little bit. Everything's going to go away from the face, so I'm going to hold this right here for a little bit, and then what I want to do is feed my hair into the iron. And when I do that, I slide my curling iron down, and then I wrap it right back up to where it was. And if you guys see, I am holding my clamp and I am opening it just ever so slightly when I'm feeding my hair into the iron. When you get towards these bottom sections, I kind of like to hold this so that the hair doesn't get sometimes when I'll have it that the hair accidentally falls out. So if you hold those bottommost sections, when you get towards the end, it kind of helps that not happen. Sometimes it still does, and that's okay. Feed it all the way down to the end. Hold it for a few seconds. I'd say like anywhere between like 5 to 7. If you have extensions and they curl, or if your hair curls great, then closer to 5. And if your hair doesn't hold curl as well, then closer to like 10 seconds would be fine too. Like let it cool, like the major heat, I like to let that kind of go away a little bit first because I don't want to burn my hands. The major heat has kind of gone away. Then what I like to do is I don't brush it out. I just grab my roller and go all the way down. And then I bring it all the way back up. So you want to do this before your section cools, but I don't like to do it with my hair being like extremely hot because I've kind of had it where like I kind of burn my finger a little bit as time goes on. I'm going to kind of show you guys a little bit more in depth here. This section again is going to be going away from the face. So when I'm going away from the face, I like to, when you're going away from the face, your clamp, if you're using a curling iron with a clamp, your clamp will be facing you. When you're going toward the face, the clamp will be on the further side of you. So again, we're going away from the face, so the clamp is going to be closest to me. I'm going to hold my iron vertically for the most part, start at the top, do like one full turn with my hair, or do like one full turn with the iron, hold it for a few seconds, and then we're gonna feed the hair into the iron by slowly opening up the clamp and the barrel and just working our way all the way down. And see, that's kind of what I meant when sometimes those ends kind of make you let go. If that happens, but your hair is almost done, just kind of redo it really quickly. And then if you're risky enough, you can kind of hold your ends a little bit. And then that'll kind of help that. I burned myself. I have a burn on my forehead. I have a burn on my neck that literally looks like a hickey that I'm hoping that scar kind of fades away. I'm literally using skincare right now to get it to fade because I'm like, I really cannot have it look like I have hickey on my neck every freaking day. And I even do hair and I don't even know how to curl my hair without burning myself. I like to give it a couple seconds because it's still going to be hot, and then I use my roller, go all the way down, bring it all the way up. And I'm using the larger rollers for these first few sections. My next section, I have a mix of my natural hair and the rest of my halo out. I just went from my temples up. Then this section, again, is going to be away from the face. I'm just going to use my smaller curling iron and my smaller roller for this one. The other thing that I want to do in these like frontmost sections too is to get just a little bit of added volume. I'm going to actually hold my curling iron horizontally instead of vertically, because when your hair curls at more of the horizontal, when it falls down vertically, it'll kind of have a little bit leftover body. When you're doing your like back and your underneath, those sections don't really matter as much, especially the underneath, because it just gets weighed down by the rest of the hair anyway. And then I'm also gonna roll my hair and have my roller at more of a horizontal versus it being like at a vertical too. For these sections more in the back, I'm going to go back to using my 1.5 inch curling iron. These ones you can have these ones set horizontally as well. I kind of just do it at like more of an angle, wherever it kind of wants to comfortably lay at the most, because, you know, on one hand, yes, all of extra volume helps, but sometimes it's kind of hard to hold these at a horizontal just since they're further back from the head too. And if you don't have rollers, you don't have to use them. They definitely do help with the fluffiness and the longevity of the look. A couple things that you could do instead is once when your section is done curling, you could let it go, and then you could just use your hand and like hold it here and wait for it to cool, or just give it a few seconds. Another thing you could do is, again, hold the hair up and kind of like inside of the curl, put your finger in between, roll this back up, and then you could either just set it with like, this is like old pin curl clips, you could set it like this without a roller, or you can use a bobby pin too. That also definitely works. Not getting the hang of rollers, or you're not wanting to spend the time on them, there are other options for you too. So, little extension tip too. So I have a little bit of my natural hair and I have a little bit of my extensions all setting it at the same spot. So what I've been doing is, to prevent it from my short pieces falling out, keep my roller where my natural hair ends down here, and I'm going to hold this, and then I'm going to wrap up the rest of the hair. I'm going to keep it flat, but just wrap it up behind it like this. I don't know if you guys can see. And then I'm going to roll everything up to the top together. Pretty much working all on my natural hair now. Alright, now that we're all doing the crown section now, pretty much, I'm going to go back to my Bio-Ionic, my 1.25 inch, and I'll lift everything up, and I'm going to curl everything on top of my head, but still like all going outwards. So I'm going to take like a inch or so wide section, just like this. Keep everything like lifted up, and everything is still going to be going away from the face. So how we're going to kind of determine that is when you're curling everything on top of your head, we're going to keep it all horizontal, but I'm going to keep the clamp again. It's the same concept with it being when you were doing it vertically, with the clamp being closest to your face. It's going to be the same concept when it's on top of your head, is keeping the clamp on the closest side of your head. So I'm going to do, everything is going to be the same thing. We're still feeding the hair into the iron. We're just holding it all horizontally. What I've learned is what's easiest so that the hair doesn't get tangled into each other when you're holding it horizontally is keep your base towards the bottom and then let your ends kind of get fed in as you work your way down. That's literally the same concept as when you curl your hair with it vertically. You normally start towards the top of the head too. And then we're just going to take this out. When you start towards the top of the head, you normally start at the top of the iron as well. So it's essentially like the same concept. It just feels and looks differently because it is at a different angle. Again, an inch section. I'm going to start closer to the base of the hair, and I want to do 1 inch of a section, and then I just kind of like place the hair over here on this other side, so it doesn't want to try to, like, if you let it kind of choose itself, it might want to go the other way. And then again, just keep feeding the hair into the iron. And then we're all pretty much almost done, except for there's just a few sections I left out on like the sides of these. So I'm just gonna kind of curl these up, and if you guys can kind of see, I'm kind of like over directing my iron, which means I'm kind of like moving it. So my section this section of hair kind of is lying back here in this area. But what I'm doing is as I'm curling it, I am moving my iron way forward, like closer to my face. And in the hair world, we call that over direction, and over directing your hair like that will give it so much more body and volume. Again, same concept as letting your rollers sit horizontally. Then when it falls in its home base, then it's gonna have a lot more volume then at that in your curl. And if you thought I looked crazy before with my short hair and my rollers, look even crazier now. So yeah, I'm just gonna let these all kind of just sit and hang out and cool down a little bit. And I'd say could give it like an hour if you really want to. I'll probably give it like 25-30 minutes, and then I'll be back to let them all out and we'll kind of get everything finished up. Let everything sit for about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take everything out. I like to do is just kind of run my fingers through it. Can help to have everything kind of fall in place with each other. I just like to like lightly brush it. It kind of just helps to like mold everything together. And then just kind of lightly go in, fluff everything. I like to kind of pick up this side crown area and like back home this just a little bit to give it a little bit of extra body right there. Texture spray. This is Texturizer by Unite, and I'm just gonna kind of pick up my hair and just kind of spray into it a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this kind of helps for your kind of fluffy curls, your blowout curls, whatever you want to call them. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.